1015 FM KDWN.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show.
The Mark Hoke Show.
Filled with wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's bring on the tag team of Andrew Fain, Joe DeFalco, and your host, Mark Hoke.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Mark Hoke Show on KDWN.
Woo!
It's 1015 FM.
Woo!
It's 7:20 a.m.
Woo! Ravapooty. Oh, sorry.
It's the talk of Las Vegas. It's the station so nice. It is on your dial twice.
Yes, it is.
And we have the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment
I'm
for
sorry.
all of...
I got to stop you. I'm just so I'm just so excited.
What?
We get to meet our public today.
We're getting to that?
I don't care. I'm just so excited. Yay, public.
What is your... You... No.
I'm a Gemini, man.
Yeah, okay. I'll just... Can we just say, psychopathic?
I'm that too, but...
Schizophrenic?
And I will be hiding behind you in case I see Vandergriff.
Stop it. But we... it's the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment. It is the station so nice. It's on your dial twice.
Woo!
And we are going to be bringing it all to you today. I'm Mark Hoke. Thanks for being with us. The idiot that you hear ruining my introduction.
That's me.
That I had planned out so well.
That's still me.
Andrew Fishman.
Woo!
Joe DeFalco is recuperating from last night's season's beatings.
I hope he didn't get seasonally beaten.
He might have. Heard it was a pretty good night last night. So
every night that there's an FSW event is a good night. And I don't say that just because Joe's part of the show. I've been to several of the events, and they've all been absolutely fantastic.
Yep. So congratulations. Whatever happened at FSW, it was on Las Vegas wrestling scene, is trying to check that out, and not up yet, but I'm sure that recap will be up soon.
I would imagine as soon as whoever is recapping it is also up, because they are probably not up.
Yeah, long night down there. So we want to wish everybody I hope everybody had a great time and a great card down there at the FSW arena last night. So, boy, oh boy, did we have a week in professional wrestling.
Yes, we did.
Fish, when I walked out of here last week, I said to myself, self.
Because that's what you call yourself.
And then self. Because I'm kind of schizophrenic myself lately. I said, wow, this is going to be kind of a dead week. And I don't know if anything's going to happen, and I'm really going to be scraping for...
Historically, isn't this usually a dead week? I mean, between now and the end of the year is generally not much happens in wrestling. I mean, you have your events, but usually like they're pre-taped, and there's nothing amazing going on usually this time of year.
Usually.
Ask Chris Jericho.
Au contraire, mon frère.
Oh, he called me mon frère.
I don't even know where to start. I don't know which story to pick.
Let's start with AEW.
Do you really want to start with AEW?
I do, because I want to hold the WWE stuff.
Okay. We'll start with AEW if that's what you'd like to do. All Elite Wrestling. TBS had their Winter Is Coming show. And a very good evening.
Yeah,
a terrific show.
And you all know I am not an AEW mark by any stretch of the imagination. But I will give them absolute credit. Phenomenal show. Again, they are doing exactly what needs to be done to give competition to the WWE.
So there's a match or two I'm going to skip on this. But the first thing that I will mention, the Elite and the Death Triangle had a great match 4 in their best of 7. And a pretty cool finish. I liked it that Nick Jackson got knocked out of the match, one of the Young Bucks. Well, easy. Of course, they team with Kenny Omega against the Death Triangle, which is Pac and Lucha and the Lucha Brothers.
Does this? I mean, I'll let you get to the finish, but I just want to know if this means that that the Elite now have to or will win 3 straight?
I don't know.
Because you can't have a best of 7 in a wrestling scenario and not have all 7 matches.
Well, we'll find out. Nick Jackson got knocked out of the match. He got his leg hurt. And then Will, as they like to say, Willis Reed came back in. And then as they were holding Nick Jackson's leg up when they had him in the ring and hit him with the ring bell hammer and ended up submitting him and win the match to go up 3-1. Of course, Death Triangle is the current AEW Trios Champions. So now they will have to come back. Now, screwed up on the graphics a little bit. I gotta give them a minus because they put up the graphic about the last 3 matches being different styles of matches before even Kenny Omega mentioned, hey, let's do a no DQ.
Oops. So
you kind of, and then they announce, oh, by the way, 7th match is a ladder match. The 6th, I forgot what the 6th match is off the top of my head, but it was funny that the graphic went up before they had announced the rest of it.
So I'm guessing it's
going to kind of had to announce it all because they put it on the screen.
So I'm guessing it's going to come down to a ladder match.
Yeah, it's looking like it.
Because you can't, you can't have a best of 7 that ends in 5.
I think it'd be great. I think it'd be terrific if they ended the series at 5. It's done. Have everybody looking forward to, a 7th. The 7th match is going to be a ladder match. Oh, boy. And you don't get it. Speaking
of the Elite, and I don't know if you heard the Jim Cornette show recently. But
what bad thing did he say about him this time?
Well, no, what he was saying was that the biggest reason he doesn't think that Punk is coming back is because AEW doesn't think there's any money in Punk versus the Elite.
Well, they're wrong.
That's
Jim
Cornette went on a big tirade about it, about how how ridiculous they're being, and how because there's a ton of money there, it's going to put butts in seats and eyes on sets.
I'd love to know who he heard from AEW that said that.
He's saying that they believe there's no money in Elite versus Punk.
Okay, I'm not sure if I'm buying that, but whatever. Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal and the gang attacked.
Black Machismo.
Attacked the Acclaimed. So we're going to get Jarrett and Jay Lethal against the Acclaimed. That'll be interesting. Nice match with Jungle Boy Jack Perry against Brian Cage. Cage looking great again. Wrestling very well.
Although I'm not, I don't know if I'm happy with the fact that they jobbed Cage out.
It's Jungle Boy. You're not jobbing out Jungle Boy.
Yeah,
Jack Perry is a pillar. You can't job out a pillar. Don't do that, fish. Bad fish.
Apparently.
The House of Black beat up the Factory. That was great.
Yep.
Got a kick out of that. They look really good. Skipping the next match.
What would the next match be?
I'm not skipping it. Ruby Soho, Ty Mello. Of course, that's the rematch of Ruby Soho taking on the person who busted her face up and knocked her out for 3 months. Very good match.
Yep. The Soho looks, and it's funny because for a while I was thinking Ruby Soho is going to end up like Andrade and Miro, and they're just people that went over from WWE expecting greener pastures and getting nothing.
Yeah, that was the best I've seen Ruby wrestle.
Absolutely.
She had the match with Chris Statlander before Chris got hurt, but I got to say, great match there. We had Ricky Starks and MJF for the AEW World Championship. Terrific match.
Unfortunately, they talked better than they fought.
No, it was a pretty good match.
No, it was.
And I'm gonna comment on something that I've talked about before on the show. MJF doesn't fly all over the place. He doesn't do crazy stuff in the ring. But what he does very well, effectively, and safely. And that man is going to have a very long career because he's smart enough to not risk his body at 26 blowing a knee out.
I completely agree. And the best part about that match, though, to me, was what happened at the end of the match, after the match was over.
So MJF takes a low blow, or gives a low blow to Ricky Starks.
That wasn't the part I was referring to.
Knocked out the Huevos Rancheros and wins the match. And then Bryan Danielson comes out, and we're going to be getting MJF and Bryan Danielson.
And that should be, to quote Sheamus, a banger.
That is going to be fantastic. So pretty excited about that. But, boy, Bryan Danielson. I was hoping they were going to wait on that, though.
Because MJF ran out of there like a house on fire.
Because I would like to see Bryan Danielson at some point win the AEW title.
But I thought that they made a mistake because MJF got very close to the exit or entrance when Danielson came out, and Danielson chased him. And I thought Danielson got a little too close to him to catch him because he wasn't supposed to catch him.
Yeah.
And MJF had trouble getting over the barrier, and it looked a little silly because I was like, oops.
Danielson's very spry.
Yes, he is.
He's spry. You got to be careful with
Sprightly.
that, man. You know, he's that little bearded garden gnome that attacks you in your nightmares.
He knows when you've been sleeping. He knows when you're awake.
Apparently so.
He knows
now
when
let's
to put you in a dragon screw.
Let's hop back to the middle of the card, shall we?
Hop, 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 hop.
The Hypes had Chris Jericho, the Ocho, the 8-time world champ, in action. Jericho coming off his loss against the dreaded Claudio Castagnoli, losing the AEW or the Ring of Honor World Championship.
Yes, indeed. And now we know why.
And Jericho is going to take it out on some poor slob. A jobber. If you never heard the term jobber, that's someone who's hired for your company to be a loser, to be the one that puts other people over. So out comes Action Andretti.
Also known as the 1-2-3 Kid. Oh, oops.
Action Andretti.
Good Lord, that name.
I'm like, okay, this will be fun. Now here the sad part was I knew what happened before I got to watch it.
How?
Because it's on a West Coast feed and I accidentally got on Twitter.
Gotcha.
But the crowd is going crazy for Action Andretti. They are chanting, "Let's go jobber." And as this match went on, Jericho couldn't put him away. And every time Andretti got some offense going, was looking good, Jericho just shut him down.
And the best part is,
over and over.
Prior to the end of the match, hearing the announcers go, but be careful because Jericho can get that Judas effect at any time.
And lo and behold, the Ocho, after taking I believe a kick and then a backward moonsault or something, a little flipsy doodle.
Thank you, Strowman.
1, 2, 3.
Ocho is now nueve.
And Andretti is the winner and beating Chris Jericho. Jericho does the 1-2-3 Kid job, as you were referring to. Of course, the famous match years ago when Sean Waltman, X-Pac, was the 1-2-3 Kid, was just kind of getting rolling in WWE, and Razor Ramon did the job to him, and it elevated Waltman to an incredible career.
And at the time, that was an amazing match. But now you look back at it and you go, well, wait a minute. They're both members of the Clique, so now it makes a lot more sense.
Well,
we didn't know it at the time.
It wasn't as clicky back then. But apparently, Jericho had watched Andretti on one of the darker elevation shows a couple months ago and said, I'm putting this kid over. He's going to be a superstar. And so this was planned out for months, that Action Andretti was going to be beating Chris Jericho on Dynamite. Does two things. One, obviously, we have a new player in the game.
In Action Andretti.
But it also gives you that sense of unpredictability now, again, that anything can happen on AEW Dynamite.
Well, it leads me to a couple of questions. One's more of a statement. It shows you how amazing Chris Jericho is because he's a leader and willing to put a guy over for the good of the company, regardless of how it makes him look.
Agreed.
And two, and this is the only thing I fear about Action Andretti, is he going to become like an Evan Bourne, a guy who, yes, can win, but didn't win frequently?
Well, you just getting started.
Not quite a jobber, but not quite on the level of other guys.
And that's kind of where I'd put him. But, I think that this is really good for AEW, and I think it's good for Chris to do something like this. Major props to Chris Jericho for being willing to put a new talent over like that.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone in WWE on the Jericho level would be willing to do that.
That crowd was so hot that night for all the matches, but they were, if you have not seen the Action Andretti Chris Jericho match, the crowd in Garland, Texas was fired up for this one, and they And it's amazing that a crowd can either break or make a match, and they just did a great job pulling him into it, and that's why Jericho's one of the best of all time.
Absolutely, and one of the reasons that I think WWE will long regret not keeping Jericho around.
Yeah.
Because there are certain guys that they lost him, and it's like, okay, love to have Big Show in WWE because he's fun and he's a good dude and he knows his stuff, but the loss of Big Show wasn't that bad. The loss of Jericho still hurts.
Yeah. So Chris Jericho doing the thing, and a wild night on AEW Dynamite as Action Andretti. Welcome to the party, kid.
Just need to sign and say, hey, CM Punk, this is what a leader looks like.
Yeah. Yeah, you could say that. All right, so let's head into our break here, and then when we get back, oh my goodness.
You can say that again.
Vince McMahon, Mandy Rose, all sorts of fun stuff happening.
Oh, Mandy Rose.
Yeah, well, not the bloom's gone, apparently. So stick around, everybody. We're going to be right back on the Mark Hoke Show here on KDWN 101.5 FM. 7:20 a.m. We are the talk of Las Vegas, bringing you the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment. And we'll mention that meet and greet, too. Unique Eats, baby, at noon. We're going to be there. We'll tell you everything that's going on in case you haven't been paying attention. So stick around. We will be right back.
When it comes to having the right attorney in your corner, you want to have a proven winner on your side, and Russell Dutch Boyd of VegasCounsel.com knows how to win in Las Vegas. Boyd graduated at 18 years old from law school and is also a 3-time World Series of Poker bracelet winner. And no matter what legal challenges you're facing, Boyd will help you through it all. As a litigation attorney, he covers multiple areas of law, including personal injury, business law and startup, cyber law, and crypto clients, and whatever else you might need to navigate the legal waters of Las Vegas and beyond. Just visit VegasCounsel.com to set up your free initial consultation today. That's VegasCounsel.com and let Dutch Boyd help you win today. Once again, that's Russell Boyd at VegasCounsel.com.
.101.5 FM KDWN.
This is the Mark Hoke Show.
The Mark Hoke Show.
Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
Yeah, it's me. Hey, what's going on? Guess I'll turn the music down a little bit.
Same thing that was going on about 10 minutes ago, only it's 10 minutes later.
What? Huh?
You said, what's going on? I said the same thing that was going on about 10 minutes ago.
That is so not true. The molecular composition of the universe has changed.
In 10 minutes worth.
Yeah, that's a lot, man. When you think about it, you can't say nothing's changed.
I didn't say nothing. I said it's the same, but 10 minutes later, which is
exactly
correct.
I mean, we're in a totally different position in the galaxy. Totally.
That's wild.
We moved, man.
That's wild, man.
Yeah. I mean, your hair got curlier.
And grayer.
Yeah, and uglier. But anyway, this is...
And Vinnie Mac is one step closer. Oh, oops.
No. We are the Mark Hoke Show on KDWN 101.5 FM, 7:20 a.m. I am Mark Hoke along with Andrew Fain.
That's me.
And don't forget, Unique Eats. We're doing a meet and greet for you today. We're going to be over at 3100 South Durango.
Mark will sign 8x10s.
Yeah, no, I'll sign whatever, just about.
No, you have your own 8x10, don't you?
No.
You in a Speedo?
No. Why is every show that I ever do, people bring up me being... When I did a poker show, people brought up me being in a Speedo, too. Why does everybody want me in a Speedo? Right now, especially, that would be the worst thing on the planet.
Especially when around food.
Oh, no. No. Don't even think about it. But come on over. We would love to see you. We're going to be there from noon to 1:30. Live jazz. And I hear a combo jazz Santa may be there.
And if Vandergriff has the stones,
whatever he did last night, he was busy trying to unify championships.
Yes, but if he's got the stones, he'll be there.
We have we're gonna do, like I said, giveaways. It's 15% off if you just come over and say hi to us. It's 15% off your bill, and that means you get to try the great breakfasts, lunches, internationally acclaimed pizzas,
Mimosas,
smoothies, whatever you want. And, of course, if you can't get over today, you can still go to Unique Eats anytime you want. They're open every day until 3 o'clock. Just go to uniqueeatslv.com.
But if you've been waiting for a reason to go, today is the reason.
Yeah, and I know we're going to be seeing a lot of the guys that are going to be coming out. My friend Tim Chismar, I believe, is coming, and Chad Holloway's coming out from Poker News. I know Brian from Las Vegas Wrestling Scene's planning coming over. John from the GCW Plant Podcast is coming. It's going to be a great time, and we would love to have you there. So come on out and join us. Once again, it's Unique Eats, 3100 South Durango, and bring your appetite.
And you can see in person all the abuse I have to take.
Oh, stop. I don't want to hear it. I am the abused in this one.
Hardly.
No, I don't think so.
I'm the Farrah Fawcett role from The Bed is Burning.
What? Oh, my God. Why is everybody trying to be a martyr this weekend?
I don't know.
Don't get me started. I don't want any testimony coming up against me. Anyway. Shall we talk about Ms. Rose?
Is that who you want to go with first?
Let's go with Ms. Rose.
I will warn you, if you're under 18, this is the time when you block your ears.
Well, just keep it cracked a little bit. We'll keep it PG. So, Mandy Rose lost the NXT Championship on Tuesday night.
Much earlier than she was supposed to lose it.
Not too much earlier. This was apparently still planned.
Yeah. Oh no, the loss was, but not when it was.
A few weeks off. So she loses, and the Golden Goddess saunters out of the ring.
What did Corey Graves call her? God's perfect woman or something?
She's awfully close. I will grant her that. And all of a sudden, word breaks. Mandy Rose has been released from WWE.
Indeed.
The woman that held the NXT Championship for over a year.
400 and something days.
And also, of course, has been a stalwart in WWE for a long time. Gone. Why, you ask? Well, apparently, Mandy had one of them their private account things.
Sort of like an OnlyFans. I don't know if it was OnlyFans. That's what I'm confused. I don't know if it was OnlyFans or something else.
And unfortunately, I've got the wrong story up here. Give me a second. There it is. Sorry, I have a few Mandy Rose tabs open. Don't make any jokes.
You do not want to be in this room with me right now.
She had a Fan Time page.
I've never heard of Fan Time, but I'm guessing it's
similar.
It is like
similar to OnlyFans. And she had racy content on there before, but nothing over the line. And WWE apparently knew about this page and just said, Mandy, just don't
do anything.
Here's a line. Don't cross.
Don't let anyone see your Mandy Roses.
Well, Mandy did a video, apparently, with her in a pool where she was not dressed.
And what a video.
And it wasn't that bad or anything.
No, considering what they could be on there, it was very tame.
Yeah, because there's a lot of stuff on OnlyFans and Fan Time and stuff like that that's...
I would imagine
much more adult content.
I actually have no subscriptions to either of those.
Neither do I. I can prove that. But apparently WWE... And here's what happened. A fan... Leaked it on Twitter.
Like an idiot.
Mandy asked the fan to take it down, and the fan tried to blackmail her.
Oh, Jesus. See, that part I didn't know. I didn't know she was blackmailed.
They put the guy wanted like $5,000.
I hope he gets arrested for extortion.
She posted the messages. And Mandy said no, and she was like, just take it down. So he took it down, but too late.
Oops.
So WWE got wind of it and said, you violated your contract, you're out. And the reaction on social media and amongst the wrestling community, shall we say, has been mixed at best.
At best.
Now.
There is a story. Are you going to get to the story where WWE is alleging that she had asked for her release?
I heard that story. I couldn't really validate it to the point where I felt like I was going with it, but yes, that is
Allegedly, she had requested her release from the WWE several weeks ago.
Supposedly.
Yeah,
but
I said allegedly.
Yeah, who knows whether that's true or not. But, of course, the reaction to this is, well, you had people in Playboy. You've done racy content and before.
You didn't
you've
fire Paige when that video came out.
Yeah, you have sold sexuality on WWE programming forever, especially with her.
Yeah, hell, you had Trish Stratus barking like a dog.
Now, of course, there's a different time in WWE when a lot of those things happened. Because that was the Attitude Era where anything went, as opposed to the PG era that we are in now.
Yeah, and I guess the proof of that was Stacey the Cat Carter was naked on several occasions on WWE TV.
And many people called out WWE, and I think in a lot of ways rightfully so. This is a company that has sold sex and the sex appeal of their, well, mostly the females, but the guys too.
But I'm going to take I'm going to play devil's advocate, take the WWE side, because yes, they have. But, and as you said, there is a line that even WWE had not crossed, and Mandy Rose crossed it.
And that is the issue. When some of the ladies like Maria and Sable did Playboy, that was sanctioned, and it was in Playboy magazine. That's not what WWE does anymore, and it was in her contract. And they told her, don't do that. Here's your line to everybody. Don't, and I'm sure that's for all of their female superstars. They don't want anybody breaking the family entertainment image like that. So unfortunately for Mandy, she did something she wasn't supposed to do. I feel for her. I really do.
Have you heard reaction from the other side of people going, sorry, but that's what she gets? Because you said reaction was mixed.
There's been some, but most people have been, this is hypocritical and so on.
What about the locker room?
That I haven't heard. I'm sure there's a lot of people that were surprised. Apparently, Mandy was caught off guard on this too. But but I think it's a very interesting situation in this time where, nudity is everywhere, but in the same time, your company says don't do this. And I really think that the last thing that, if you were WWE, you want all of your women doing is having OnlyFans and stuff like that. Now, are there other wrestlers that are out there that have OnlyFans? Absolutely, there are. There's quite a few. And some of it is, does nudes and things like that, but they don't work
really?
for
Do you have
WWE.
a list of those ones?
No, I don't have a list. But that's up to them if they're independent contractors, or if the people that are working that they work for say it's okay, then all right. But you're working for the big dog.
And before you cry for Mandy Rose, there was a quote from one Tommy Dreamer who said, 100%, if she does not sign with AEW, Impact will take her.
Yeah. So of course they would.
She's got a job wherever. I mean, in other words, she's not going to be out of work for long.
Well, and the interesting part about this page apparently was, from this web page, she was making main event roster money. She was making some coin, and it's and I know some people brought up the Twitch thing a while back, where WWE said, well, you can't have a Twitch channel,
wrong kind of Twitch,
and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, this is way different, way different. So
now that Vince is gone, which we'll get to, didn't they start allowing them to do Twitch channels for things like video games?
That's okay now. And and that was really where a lot of the hypocrisy screaming came from. You had a guy in there who was sexually harassing women all over the place and spending company money to cover it up, and you're going to fire her for a watery
right. And the funny thing is, it's not funny, but for lack of a better term, I don't believe that they were looking for a reason to let Mandy Rose go.
No,
I don't think it was one of those things where they're like, okay, we got to find something so we can let her go. I think it was, oh, good Lord, this happened. And when she lost the match to Roxanne Perez and lost the title, everyone's first assumption was, oh, she's getting called back up to the main roster.
And according to Dave Meltzer, WWE just felt like they didn't have a choice. Meltzer's quote was, the feeling was that she way crossed the line, and they believed they had absolutely no choice but to get rid of her. And that's pretty much...
Regardless of everything, everybody else, what everyone else thinks, what are your thoughts on it? Do you think the WWE did the right thing?
I don't think they had any choice either. I think given how they present their product and what they're doing...
You don't think they could have just suspended her?
I have a feeling she'll be back. A suspension to me would have been pretty fair, but I think they also had to send a message. Because, boy, I'll tell you what, don't tell me that a lot of those other women that are on that roster, and the guys too, don't forget. I mean, I know, like, for example, Danny Limelight, who's an independent wrestler, has an OnlyFans account. And we'll just leave it there. I've never been on it, but I'm just saying, guys do this too. That if you let this behavior go, most people that are in WWE have very good physiques. And if you let it go for one person, you got to let it go for everybody. And all of a sudden now you're going to have WWE superstars, showing up on Mr. Skin all over the place. And I don't think that's what they want.
Yeah, especially not if like Kevin Owens.
There's a market for that too. I bet there's a lot of people out there that think Kevin Owens is a cute little cuddly tuddly bear,
Yeah, I would imagine. He was the first. I was trying to think of somebody else, but it's not like there's no Bastion Booger on the roster anymore.
Is there anybody that big? I'd have to look on the list.
Otis.
Yeah.
Speaking of Mandy Rose.
Yeah. Let's put Otis. Otis gets an OnlyFans. I wouldn't suspend Otis for that.
No, I'd applaud him for the effort.
I mean, like, give the man more steak and pie.
Yeah. See, the difference being that he'd make money on OnlyFans by people paying him to keep his clothes on.
Well, yeah, but I would say that there would probably be a lot of the men on the roster too that would, without a doubt, if they felt like they could do it, they would.
I think this is a stern warning to everyone. I agree. This is a shot across the bow. This is what's going to happen if you mess up.
Yeah. Yep. So, Mandy Rose, Histoire. We missed you. Oh, goddess.
Do you think she ends up on AEW or Impact?
I don't know. If I were her, I might just sit back for a while and maybe let this cool off. Maybe they bring her
back. Do
more
OnlyFans stuff.
Well, hey, you know what? I will guarantee you that now she could probably do on there whatever she wants and make a lot of money. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. Well, we're going to head to break here on the Mark Hoke Show on KDWN.
Because there's more WWE news.
Oh, dear Lord.
And it has nothing to do with what's going on in the squared circle.
No. It's been unbelievable. We'll get to some of the stuff that happened in the squared circle later in the show. But we have the boss trying to come back and not Sasha Banks. And
a drug suspension?
We have another suspension. Talk about hypocrisy at WWE. Oh, we'll get to that too. So stick around for more here on the Mark Hoke Show, the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment. We're happy to have you with us. Fish and I'll be right back. Stick around.
Tired of the same boring food when you're out for breakfast or lunch? I'm Mark Hoke, and I have an idea for a different place to go with unique food you're sure to enjoy, and that's Unique Eats. Take some time out of your busy day and stop on in to Unique Eats, featuring celebrity chef Dominic Tedesco and his friendly staff. Whether it's a great start to your day with one of Unique Eats' amazing omelets, or lunch with his incredible sandwiches, pasta, and award-winning pizzas, you'll be in for a fantastic dining experience that won't break the bank. Unique Eats also features a smoothie bar and full vegetarian menu as well. Plus, if you need catering, you can count on Unique Eats no matter what the occasion. So what are you waiting for? Get on over to Unique Eats at 3100 South Durango, Suite 100, open daily until 3 p.m. Call them at 702-992-5400 3038 or visit uniqueeatslv.com for their full menu and catering info. Break out of the same old routine and have a great meal at Unique Eats today.
1015 FM KDWN.
You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show.
The Mark Hoke Show.
Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
Yes, that is I,
Said the fly.
your Las Vegas wrestling guru. We rule the multiverse. We declared it, so be it. That is how it is. I am Mark Hoke. Andrew Fish Fain hanging out with me today.
Woo!
As we bring you the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment. And as we teased, like they say in the biz, the boss is talking about coming back.
Oy vey.
You got to be kidding me. So this news broke right after Mandy Rose, which I kind of got a kick out of, that Vince McMahon has stated, apparently, he wants to come back to WWE. Says he got bad advice. Should have just let the whole thing blow over with, only $14.6 million in settlements, plus issues with the Securities and Exchange Commission.
And weren't there 2 more that came out?
Getting there.
Sorry.
Vinnie Mac is apparently letting it be known that he would like to return to WWE. So, obviously, that got a little bit of a negative reaction.
I'd like a date with Mandy Rose, but,
So, not surprisingly, shortly after this word gets out that Vince McMahon would like to resume his duties at Titan Towers, the Wall Street Journal, who broke all these stories, comes out with a fresh sexual assault allegation. I love the Cultaholic called it fresh. Has been made against Mr. McMahon. 2 of them, one is a fresh one and one is not so fresh.
Yeah, one is like 30 years old.
With a former spa manager in California who said that McMahon tried to be bad and is suing him for a bunch of money. And apparently her husband didn't appreciate what had happened at the time and went to the whatever arena they were at that evening with a baseball bat.
To try to beat the genetic jackhammer?
Wanted to have a discussion with Mr. McMahon. I can't imagine that would have gone very well, especially showing up with a baseball bat. I think just coming over and trying to have a chat might have worked a little better. But then, of course, we also had the more on the issue with former WWF referee, and was WWF at the time, Rita Chatterton, who has said back in the 80s that McMahon tried to, that he sexually assaulted her in a limousine. She was looking for $11.7 million. She did accuse McMahon of rape, and that story has been around forever. So, but now we have a dollar figure that she is suing him for. So we have 2 fresh allegations coming out against Mr. McMahon as he supposedly wants to make his return because of bad advice. Fish, would you like to give Mr. McMahon some advice at this point?
Stay away. It's funny because originally the thought was, oh no, if Vince McMahon leaves, the stock price is going to tank, and the board of directors were very worried. And apparently the exact opposite has happened. He left, stock price started going up. Just rumors of him possibly coming back were let out, and the stock dropped.
It dropped.
Like 30%.
A lot. That's absolutely amazing. And given the backstage situation where everyone had pretty much, I would say universally said that things are much better now working for WWE as opposed to under Mr. McMahon.
Right, and the bigger problem is when it was Vince McMahon was running things, they didn't have anything to compare it to. Now they have something to compare it to, and they realize how bad it was under Vince McMahon versus how good it is under Triple H.
Right. So
you cannot go back.
Well, the thing is that obviously he is still the majority shareholder.
And like I said to you during the break, and I thought this was interesting as well, he only owns like 30% of shares in WWE. But apparently the shares are worded in such a way that he has 80% of the voting power of the board. So he will never be voted out.
Yeah. Unless, of course, he's stupid and comes back and gets the Securities and Exchange Commission all over him and gets more lawsuits all over him, thus opening up WWE to potentially getting destroyed. But Vince, that would be a really good idea, Mr. McMahon. Great call.
But the question is, and I ask this with complete sincerity and honesty, is Vince McMahon so egotistical, and yes, we know he is, that he would be willing to ruin his company? Is he going to salt the earth?
I don't think so. I think at least he was smart enough to realize with everything going on that he had to step away for a little bit, that he had to get out of there. But given everything that's going on and more allegations coming up, and could you imagine? I'm sure there's more.
Do you believe
I would not be surprised if there was more.
Do you believe that when he stepped away, he did it with the thought that I'll be back?
No.
You think that when he stepped away, he didn't know if it was going to be permanent or not? I think that he stepped away going, give it 5 or 6 months, it'll blow over and I'll be back, and everything will be back the way it was.
See, I don't think it was. I think that this was a handoff to the family. He's 77 years old. It's like, okay, you're good.
But he's still Vince McMahon. But
I think that when he left, it was okay. I gotta call it quits. He's probably having regrets, and we've talked about this on the show, and a lot of people have said that Vince doesn't have hobbies. He doesn't have anything to do. He's got a very interesting marriage. That he's probably not going to be spending time with Linda down in the Bahamas or anything like that.
I've had a few, but then again,
so I'm sure I'm sure that he's probably getting antsy. And it was just funny that when this story broke that he was interested in coming back, then the Wall Street Journal brings up a new suit and Chatterton and everything, and
does McMahon have the cojones to show up on AEW?
No. If Shane would show up, I think that would be more reasonable. Because Shane kind of got shunned.
Shaft.
But, yeah, Vince will not show up on AEW. No way.
Just thought I'd ask.
No. And they wouldn't want him there. Well, I don't know. No Tony Khan.
That's the kind of thing I think Tony Khan would absolutely love.
That would... I mean, I guess we can't never say ever. I mean, Eric Bischoff showed up on...
Yes, he did.
On WWF TV.
On Monday Night Raw.
So, who knows? But yeah, interesting stuff there with the boss.
Not Sasha Banks.
Not Sasha Banks, who, by the way, is full go in New Japan.
And what I heard, and I think this is from Uncle Dave, saying that it doesn't necessarily mean she's done with WWE, but she ain't coming back right now.
There were actually some stories coming out that saying that she is.
She is done, or
she does not want to go back to WWE. And unfortunately, I didn't. I kind of led into that, and I forgot that I didn't have that tab open. But
that's all right, because the other story I did hear was that everyone's been talking about Sasha Banks. No one's talked about what's going on with Naomi and if Naomi's coming back. And she's kind of been the lost one in all this. She kind of followed Sasha Banks out the door. Now Sasha Banks is going to have this great... Everyone wants Sasha. I don't know how wanted Naomi is.
Well, and I actually just read a story about Naomi. Of course, she and Sasha Banks were the women's tag team champions, were not happy how things were going to get booked, and they walked out. And they have not been with WWE since.
That was in May.
Naomi actually thought that she was going to come back with Sasha. Well, Sasha's not coming back. So now
what
Naomi...
happens to Miss Trinity Fatu?
Yeah, so now Naomi's got a choice. Does she kind of come back in there with her tail between her legs? Or does she go somewhere else? Or just get out of wrestling, period?
What do you think happens?
I think she'll be back.
I think so, too, just because of Jimmy.
Yeah. Of course, she's married to one of the Usos, the current World Tag Team Champions.
Do they add a female to the bloodline? I mean...
Well, that's what I said all along when the whole thing started.
No, we know. I think that was kind of obvious. That was the thought that they were going. And by the way, you'll see that she is wrestling. That Sasha is wrestling at Wrestle Kingdom. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, she's going to be. Well, she's going to be there.
Mercedes Vardano, right?
Yeah, that's her name. But apparently, and I found the tab here, that WWE was negotiating with her months ago, and she wanted
main event money.
Charlotte, Becky money, and they said, nope, we don't see it. We don't see it.
I'm kind of torn because I think she's Charlotte Becky kind of money.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, when we come back, hey, we still got another hour to go here on KDWN. This is exciting, isn't it? Best in pro wrestling news and entertainment. Andrew Fish Fain. I'm Mark Hoke. We are going to have a lot more for you. Hey, make sure you give us a like on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, Twitter at Mark Hoke Show. We got our website, markhokeshow.com, and keep downloading those podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. You guys on Samsung are blowing us up, and we appreciate it. So stick around. We got 1 hour to go. We'll be right back.
Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join The Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.